Hey guys, welcome back to Arry The Stag. TR Tony here. I'm just going to check in with you very quickly this week. We've got a really good auction coming up at the end of July, 25th of July at the Southwestern Vehicle Auction. So check in for that. I thought this weekend I'd just do a quick round robin. Let's look at a few of the cars that are coming up for grabs. They've actually been maxed out this time. It's very well subscribed to in terms of cars, so that's very exciting. Let's go and have a look on the net and just see what's come out. One or two Triumphs as well, which is really good. Alright guys, so the first thing to say is there's actually 85 lots coming up on the 25th of July at Southwestern Vehicle Auctions, which is a pretty strong number. They've actually had to close entries because there's so many cars going through, which is a fantastic thing for us, isn't it, in terms of our classic cars. First up, you can see here, lot number one is the Triumph Stag, a 1972 car, has an SL hardtop placed on top of the hardtop, if that makes sense, but that's not included in the sale of the Stag. It is a Mark 1. It does need a full restoration, and there's no reserve on that one, so should be an interesting one to see what happens as a result of that. Lots of other cars besides. Mercedes-Benz 300 SL. I love the Mercs. I think these are really lovely looking cars. A 1987 one, this one a 300 SL in silver, again in need of restoration and has been in the current ownership since 2009. Does come with the original Mercedes-Benz book pack and maintenance booklet as well, so that's really great. I love these Jaguar XJ Executives. This one's a 2002, so we're 22 years old now, only 127,000 miles. None of this tends to be warranted these days. It's finished in a green colour, dark green colour, which is a nice example of low budget modern classic, but it's 240 brake horsepower, 3.2 litre V8. I mean, that's a hell of a lot of car, isn't it, I think, for the money, as indeed the Jaguar XJ8 V8 Sport Auto 2003, 157,000 miles on that one. Audi TT Quattros, they go all day long. That one's a 90,000 mile car, so that's looking very good. There's a little Rover 100 Kensington there, SE 1995, again with only 22,000 miles on the clock, warranted as well, so time warp, as the auctioneers say. It's an example of the Rover 100 with the reading at 22,000 miles and been in the vendor's ownership for the last 5 years. Beg pardon, only from new by the vendor for the last 5 years, just 4 owners and nearly 30, and is in fantastic condition. MX-5 there, Mercedes-Benz SLK, Citroen Saxo VTR 2000, that's a little pocket rocket, I'm sure. It says here perfect investment. Last owned by the last vendor for the last 6 years, and less than, they reckon, 600 of these cars actually still registered on UK roads. So interesting to see what's coming up. That's an interesting one too, isn't it? The Vauxhall Cavalier Cabrio. So don't see too many of those these days. 1987, it's very rare. So it's got a fold down roof, black soft top with a grey cloth interior, and example of a Mark II Cabriolet left, and very, very interesting. Just 29 examples of these now left on UK roads, so it's really interesting. And on to page 2, I think of 5 in total. Again, on to lot 22 there. There's a Subaru Sambar, looks like a period Volkswagen camper copy, 5th generation Sambar, with a VW orientated twist, imported into the UK in 2016, comes with history from the vendor's period of ownership and being sold in order to slim down the private collection. Here's another Triumph. We love Triumphs, as we know. TR7 that's convertible, 1981, very nice example of that in a white with blue and grey half leather interior. Possibly they think it's near the end of the production, and has the V5C. It shows 7 former keepers, and in 43 years. Looks very tidy, and it's a 1981 model. Be interesting to see what that one attracts in terms of interest. Lovely old Triumph Mayflower there, look at that, 1953, 65,000 miles, again can't be warranted, and quite chic, I think, in this modern day and age, and always worth a look. There's a Rover SD1 there, 3.5 Vanden Plas. So this was top end, 1983, 3.5 litre Vanden Plas. The 3.5 litre engine, I suspect, was the one that may have once featured in the Triumph Stag. Had British Leyland and Triumph had a different board meeting at the time, but that's another story. And this has got substantial history and is good looking car. More details obviously online. I'll put the link into the description so you can dig into each of these if you like and see each one of these cars in more detail. Triumph Vitesse there, 1969. I was looking at this one a little bit earlier. It's a 2-litre Vitesse. It's been in the ownership of the current owner since 1988. Potentially original exterior, they don't know, but they suggest it probably is, in a conifer green over a renewed red interior, which again comes with original Triumph Vitesse Mark II handbook history and all sorts of invoices and lovely records that I'm sure will give the buyer confidence. And then at the bottom there, a little Austin 7 Special, little dinky yellow car, which looks lovely. 1932, no warranty miles, it says on there. A lovely example of this one, and has been in the ownership of the last owner for 2.5 years, and finished in a very eye-catching yellow of a black interior. So awesome. And we're now on to page 3 of 5, and at one time the Ford Sierra and the Cavalier, which I think we saw earlier on, were so prevalent on UK roads, and yet nowadays, even this one was only made in 1989, 2.9 gear, so it's a top end, it's a 4x4 with only 50,000 not warranted miles on the clock. It's 150 brake horsepower, it's got a V6 engine Cologne in it, and believed to be correct, it says, and comes with the original Ford book pack, which includes the service book, and only 4 owners from new, so that's quite a exciting proposition. But there are precious few now on the roads. We seem to remember a time back in the 80s when these were cars owned by everybody almost, it seemed. There were thousands on the road, but precious few now. Very nice Jaguar XJS there in a dark blue. It's sapphire over cream leather interior, 238 brake horsepower, 0 to 60 in 7.8 seconds. That's a lot of car for the money, isn't it? Potentially 147 miles an hour, 1994. So again, dig into the details, guys, if you want to, in the description, just to see what that's likely to be going for, the guide prices. Here's an MGB Roadster in white, 75,000 miles, open top. Obviously it's a very desirable old English white over black interior, comes with all the paperwork and so on, and £23,000 worth of expenditure on the car in recent years, so has been well cared for and looked after. There's another Mercedes-Benz 380 SLC here, 1981, 86,000 miles is believed to be correct. Looks nice in a royal metallic navy blue of a grey interior, and lots of history with that car too. A little MR2 there, again don't see too many of those now left on the road, but again that one's up for auction at the end of July at the Southwest Vehicle Auctions. The Jaguar XK for me all day long is a classic modern day E-Type. You've heard me say this 1,000 times on the channel. This one's only done nearly 30,000, that's warranted miles, so it's a near concours, they're saying, 4-litre XK8, and with that kind of mileage that's got to be a high interest car, I'm sure, from a number of points of view. This one is an E-Type, actually a JPR Wildcat, so it's actually a kit car and reminiscent of the Series 1 E-Type, 20,000 miles on it. I'm not sure what it's built on. It'll be built on a running gear of another car, but looks fantastic, and who can afford an E-Type Jaguar these days? North of 100,000 for decent quality ones, especially a Series 1 and open top as well. Here's the Saints Volvo P1800S, 1968, 87,000 miles on that. Again, all in the right colours there. It's a lovely old English white, or old Swedish white, should I say, and fully restored in 2002 with loads of photographs. And I love these cars. The design of these is beautiful. I think really, really nice. Followed by an Armstrong Siddeley Lancaster, 1947. So there's all kinds of ages of cars here. Really great to see. And next up on page 4 of 5, we've got a little Austin Mini 7, 1961, and in the current ownership of the current owner since 2010, finished in a tartan red for the home market. It's got matching numbers, right-hand drive, sits on 10-inch mini light wheels with original steel rims, so this sounds really nice. A little Lotus Elan there, I love those cars, 22,000 miles in yellow, 1970, so it's a few years old now, but looks very, very nice indeed. Had about £8,000 worth of money spent on it recently. Here's a good Ford Cabria 1600 XL Auto, 1975, and looks a real nice car, just undergone a bare metal respray and full recommissioning, so now a very nice example. So it's all good stuff, this guy's a mix of classic cars coming up for grabs. Anything from a Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow there, look, 1974 with 99,000 warranted miles, which I'm sure will be a very lovely drive, to a Lotus 7 Series 2 1961 car, which is very rare, and a real Lotus 7 S Series 2 finished in British Racing Green, which has got to be the colour you're going to get if you're going to get one, I guess, with the Lotus yellow nose cone. And it's just one of 1,310 sevens ever produced, and it's just one of 162 left on the road, or registered for use on the UK roads, with the V5 with it as well. And again, another Mercedes-Benz SL 280 this time, 1984, 5-speed manual. A lot of them were automatics, half leather, champagne gold over half leather, half brown leather inside, so that's really nice. There's a lovely Triumph TR6 there, 76,000 miles, fuel injection, as we know, 2.5 litre straight six, produces some 150 brake horsepower, which is a lot of power for such a car. It really is. Now, my wife and I actually had a Nissan 200 SX. I'm just looking at the Nissan 300 ZX here. It was always a car she aspired to own. I know it was a little bit loud and a bit maybe even boy racer, but I love them. Very complex. 200 SX was immensely fast. This one has just done 51,000 from new. It's got a wide body kit and the big spoiler on the back you can see, so check that one out if you're fancy going back to your youth. And the bike for me that I wanted when I was a kid, apart from a FS1E 50cc moped, was a Honda 250N Super Dream, and this one's from 1982. I love these bikes. I think they're so charismatic of their time. They're very, very smooth. It's 4-stroke, air-cooled, and I know it's bikes, not cars, but you know, I'm sure we all love different automotive things as well. And here's a Peugeot 304 Cabrio 1975. So again, don't see too many of those. Very charismatic. It's just one of 26 examples left that are registered on UK roads, in a blue with a black soft top over brown leather interior, and comes with a Haynes manual and has benefited from some recent work. Here's a pocket rocket from the 1980s. Everybody aspired to a Ford Escort XR3i, and that was iconic and very highly desirable, quite right, car of its year, and owned by the last owners for the last 6 years. Has had some major work and some invoices for which is all there. And as we were saying earlier, not too many of these cars left on the roads. One of just 370 XR3Is now registered on the road in 2024, and simply stunning. And I'd love to get up close and personal to see that, actually. Relive my youth again, as we mentioned earlier. And then on to the final page, here's a Jaguar 2+2 Series 1.5 from 1968. Original feel, it says, in terms of the car. Opalescent gunmetal grey over a black interior, and owned by the current owner for at least the last 18 years. Lots of good work done in January up to this year. V5 all there. To then a Triumph GT Thunderbird, a BSA Gold Star. There's a Golden Flash there, 1956, and a Triumph Tiger. Look at that, isn't that cool? And then moving down towards the end of the sheet here, we've got the Singer Vogue. Again, I've not seen too many of those on the road. 1963, dark blue. What a great colour that is, with contrasting light blue roof. You can just see that in the picture. So it's a good, honest classic, that one. To the Morris 8 Series E 1947, which is a beautiful kind of patina, finished in maroon over black. So again, very representative of the day. And to finish off then, lot 78, the SL 500 Mercedes. These are increasing in value. It's not warranted miles at 16,000, but these cars go on forever. I have an S-Class with currently 340,000 miles on, something like that, and I love it, absolutely love it. It still drives as if it was brand new. Another Triumph there, TR6, again £14,000 spent on that one. It's an injection, as we know, TR6. Finished in United Nations white with a navy blue mohair hood over a black interior, and owned by the current vendor for the last decade, so very well cared for and looked after. So just really interesting to see all the different cars here. And we finished the day with an Austin Healey Frog Eye Sprite. Look at those, 1959, called Frog Eyes because they look like little frog eyes at the front there, and a lovely original field example of a Mark 1 Austin Healey Frog Eye Sprite coming up for sale in yellow, and V5 is available. So all good, guys. Lots of great cars. Get online, have a look at all the details. I haven't gone into huge detail this time around because it would take a lot of time, but hopefully that's given you a bit of a insight from page 5 through back through the different lines into the different cars. Just so much there of choice. I'm sure there's going to be a bargain for everybody. So get on down there, guys, or virtually if you want to. I think there's an initial deposit you have to put down if you want to place a bid that you get back if you don't succeed in buying a car. That's part of the requisite requirements these days to be able to bid for the car. They do online bidding, and I'd encourage you to go down and have a look at the cars themselves. They have viewings beforehand, always good to go check them out, and they do that way even to the day before the car's actual auction itself on the 25th. And I know Owen Shepherd there at Southwestern Vehicle Auction, so give him a ring. I'm sure he'd be very happy, one of his team, to show you around and see exactly what's what, and go sit and go and have a look at some of these cars up close and personal, whether it's a project lot 1 or a top end Frog Eye Sprite and all the points in between. Looks like a really great day, and I'll try and get down if I'm not away on holiday. We shall see. Anyway, there you go. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed that. Some really interesting cars, as I mentioned. That Triumph is obviously a bit of a project, the Stag, but no doubt someone will be very interested in that, along with lots of other good stuff as well. We'll keep you up to date on what's happened afterwards, and if you want to check online, actually they do a live feed. If you go onto Southwestern Vehicle Auction's website, you can actually see a YouTube live feed of the auction itself, and again in a future week or two I'll upload that in due course. That's it for this week, guys. Please feel free to like, share and subscribe. Give us all the love. Thumbs up, always well worthwhile, and we'll see you online on Arry the Stag very soon. Cheers for now, guys. All the best. Bye.